Hey there everybody, Captain Hardluck here, and I wanted to give you all a bit of context for this video before we launch right into it. Back in July, I quote tweeted somebody calling themselves Marty McFlies on Twitter and essentially called them a sociopath. Now, why did I do that? Because they were talking about crowdfunding media preservation, or at least an intent to do so. Why do I think that's a bit sociopathic? Because whenever this happens, I have three major questions. Firstly, who gets to own the media that you pay a fraction of the price for after a crowdfunding effort? Two, do you acknowledge the value of your physical media collection? And three, when ownership of the physical media you've crowdfunding inevitably changes hands, maybe even when you die, are you going to be redistributing those funds? Now, I don't think Marty McFlies is ever going to answer any of those questions, and I don't think the people who would contribute to these crowdfunding efforts would even care what the answer to these questions are, because they're so emotionally invested in getting what they want onto YouTube from this physical media that they'll pay maybe anything. And that's what you've got to be concerned about. People who are being emotionally manipulated to contribute to somebody's physical media collection. Now, Marty McFlies would also go on to say, oh, this person's calling me a sociopath for maybe crowdfunding one time. Well, that's not the case. You've done it multiple times. The trail is hot. I'm not sure why you would say that you've only tried to do it once when you've tried to do it multiple times. It's making me question your character. And up next, you're going to watch an edit of a live stream that I did after my original tweet, where I kind of waxed philosophical about the efficacy of crowdfunding media preservation. Now, while you're watching this, I just want you to ask yourselves one question along the way. Why are people paying the pirates? We're talking about preserving media and the value of doing that. What is the value of preserving media? It's so that it can be enjoyed by future generations. And I think that's a valid point to make. Basically, we're seeing that lost media is valuable to people, or obscure media, or unarchived media. Now, there are preservationists out there. I mean, who's to say that this media doesn't exist on hard drives all around the world, hosted by, it's a decentralized preservation. Preservation is implicit in the fact that people are preserving it. And one person's act of preservation is not preservation. The one person who preserves is labeled a preservationist. Okay, now, I already feel like I'm saying things that people might not have been thinking about when it comes to preservation. And that's sad, because I really think I'm scratching the fucking surface of the whole concept. Let's talk about crowdfunding. What is crowdfunding? It is an investment. And generally these investments are being made into media, right? I literally just did crowdfunding. So I am definitely not against the act of crowdfunding. I think it's necessary. There are people who do not have the resources. I would not have the resources to print all these books and all this merchandise if it wasn't for the $1,000 investment that was made into me by 40 some people. What we've got going on here is a preservationist talking about crowdfunding. Now, I see the word crowdfunding, and crowdfunding, words mean things, okay? What is crowdfunding? Why do we have to break it down? Because they later try to, fucking insult me or something. By an insinuation I make, and they're like, whoa, that's, you're gonna do it that way. Let's get to it. I basically said it was a bit of sociopathic behavior to crowdfund purely to preserve media. Okay, purely to buy, in this case, a vinyl record, just for the purpose of uploading it to YouTube. To me, that is not enough value generation to validate the act of buying this one guy an obscure LP, getting it to America. Okay, or if they're in America, I think they are. So here's something that people don't realize about media, especially when it comes on its original format. It's valuable. The media itself, the thing that holds the media, is valuable. Okay, the idea of collectible items, and on top of collectible items, the speculation of their value which is what we're really gonna get into here, which is what we're really gonna talk about tonight, which is collectors' speculation, the market, the efficacy, and how that plays into the preservation of media. I don't think it's being talked about, and we're constantly talking about ethics. I say it's pretty sociopathic then to have a not a Kickstarter, right? To have crowdfunding regarding this and trying to drum up funds to buy more shit for your collection. You need to take full accountability, and let's call it out because we know who they are, right? Marty McFlies, okay? We need you to acknowledge the fact that whatever money you pay for this item, more than likely in the future, as long as you don't have to fire sale everything, which happens to a lot of collectors, but even then, by the grace of God, you've got another $200 lying around because of that fucking shit you bought for, $300, right? Okay, it depreciated $100 in value because I have to fire sale it because an emergency happened, but thank God I at least have assets to liquidate and, say. And if you were in that situation, unless this person is telling me, unless Marty McFlies is trying to make it apparent to me that the only reason that they would never sell their media, they would rather starve. They would rather their mother die of a terminal illness than sell their rare media. Bullshit. And if it's going on behind the scenes, let's keep it on the fucking DL. Let's not tweet about it to 2,200 people. A group called Cetamite did a campaign to buy their encoder a GPU and pay their electricity bill. They call it crowdfunding. I call it e-begging, to be honest. What do you need a fucking encoder GPU and pay the electricity bill? Do that shit at the fucking gas station, bro. Take your laptop to the fucking gas station and fucking sit there and we'll pay for your chili dogs, bro. Because you're bouncing Sonic the Hedgehog lost media. We're gonna email you some fucking chili dog money. Easy. Easy chili dog money. I'm fine with that. But just don't fucking tweet about it because I'd be embarrassed about that shit. I'd be embarrassed. But maybe they're too fucking stupid to know. And that's why I have to say it sounds fucking sociopathic. It sounds a little bit sociopathic when you're out here talking about crowdfunding this LP that sits in your fucking house and you own. Maybe there's this kind of toxic maybe leeching pesty, right? This pesty element about being an encoder, right? And about being the guy who, I know how to upload it. Yeah, I was in the AV club every year in high school. Again, I can't say I never asked anybody for money in my life, but I just try to give them something in exchange. And I think giving other people's work via a fucking MV4, whatever format, whatever preferred fucking abbreviation you like to fucking see in text format, when you fucking double click that shit and you fucking load VLC player and you fucking jerk off to that hentai that only you can watch. Okay, let's get to this part of the argument. Why do they do it then, right? Somebody was tweeting at me, PB, I guess, and they were saying basically, they have a knack for tracking down the hard to find expensive media and they share it at no cost. It's hard to quantify a free service. And my response is basically, the internet be like that. Facebook is essentially a philanthropic venture, according to what you're saying here, right? We should all love the Zuck because Facebook don't charge $1. And I got those rhymes, I pull them right out of my fucking asshole. So that's why you're here for this stream. Thought Marty paid for his own shit. It's kind of disappointing. Oh, shit.